Yeah. Welcome to the open book, where truth don't hide, stories ride, and every chapter got that power. Turn the page, now you stepping in, where real ones talk and the fake pretend. From viral heat to deep convo, we write the truth, let the whole world know. This ain't just a channel, it's a movement. The open book, every story, every voice.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy first day of October, and it is hump day. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday. I know it is early, and some of us just went to sleep. Okay, we stayed up late with an after party type of conversation last night. So if you did not tap in to that live on last night, y'all, you got to make sure you tap in. We talked about a lot of things involving this Romeca Meeks case. Okay. Keys News Network, he got more details from the police report. Okay. And so it gives more context to some things that have been taking place. Also, y'all, today is Romeca mom's birthday. Remember, her son's 7th birthday was this past Sunday. And so today is her mom's birthday, so we'll get into that. And also, y'all, Miss Tina, she has the channel I know on Facebook. A lot of you may know her Facebook channel called Travel Island, and she has been also following this story and keeping track of information. She's been really getting more info about this restraining order because, as we found out yesterday, Holly or Quadasia made sure that she told the police about this restraining order and that she had a license to carry even before they read her rights, okay, or charged her with anything. She kept telling them about this. So we are going to find out more about this mysterious restraining order on today. I'm not going to be on here too long. So, because my husband has an appointment today, but I wanted to get into this with you all this morning. Also, make sure you hit the like button. Let everyone know we are live. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and click the bell. And if you would like to support the channel, you're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, Cashapp, or buy a coffee. And that link is in the description field of this video. 5 super stickers. That's it today. Okay, that is the goal for today. It can be for any dollar amount. All right, so let's get into this. So today is Miss Tina's birthday, which is Romeca's mom. And this is her first birthday without her daughter. Now, many of you have probably seen some of the videos where Miss Tina had even mentioned that Romeca wanted to take her son, who just celebrated his birthday, and her to Disneyland this year to celebrate their birthdays. And she did a post today on Facebook, and she said, "Thank you, Lord, for letting me see another blessed birthday. Lord, this is a hard day for me. My baby, Romeca Meeks, I was looking for your phone call and birthday text. I can't believe my baby is gone. Lord, please give me strength today and every day. My heart is broken in 1,000 pieces. I try to keep my head up. It's so difficult even to smile. Fix it, Lord." And so we just want to make sure we keep Miss Tina lifted in prayer today, because I can only imagine. And anytime you have the first of anything after a loved one dies, and in this situation, in a tragic situation or event that happened to her, it makes it even harder. We have the holidays coming up, all of that. So prayers up for Miss Tina, and also prayers up for any of you all that's going through a time of grief around the holiday season. Now, getting into this restraining order, okay? As we noticed last night during the police report, Holly at the scene, we saw the video where she was yelling, talking about she's licensed to carry, she's licensed to carry. Now, she wasn't yelling out the fact that she had a restraining order, okay? When the police got there, and I guess when they started kind of arresting her, before they could read her rights, she started, they said, an excited utterance. I don't know what that excited. Like, I wouldn't have used that word, but she started telling them she was licensed to carry and she has a restraining order against Romeca. Now, Miss Tina did an awesome job. She got us more information about this restraining order, more details. What did it say? Okay. Also, her channel is Politricans in Leadership. Okay. I didn't know what the title meant, but that's her channel name. Okay, so shout out to Miss Trina for this info. So we're gonna get right into this restraining order.
Because you have people that are saying they feel it's justified. I absolutely don't. Um, Especially after looking at this order of protection. And it gives me some understanding and clarity also why the initial emergency order of protection was denied. Hey, Miss Unique, how are you? Why the initial emergency order was denied. So this is going to be juicy, y'all. Hold on to your seats, you know what I mean? And let's see what happens. People like we're going to talk about it, because people like to talk about it. But I feel it's very important that people educate themselves and see what's in writing in order to make a educated decision,
Mhm.
or a decision that's unbiased. So what I'm going to do is go over this order of protection in words and what it said, and get some understanding with you guys why it was initially denied on December the 2nd, the 4th. So if you see my previous videos, you will see the case summary, and I went over the case summary as far as the order of protection is concerned, and also some other cases that were in the court system regarding Romeca Meeks Blackman. And when I was going over those things, I found it important to let people know that she does not live in that apartment anymore. So the family is not concerned about any eviction whatsoever, because they're stating she doesn't have anything in that apartment. So
Well, you know what I was wondering, like in the video, the last dance video she did, there were some boxes in the background. So I was wondering, even then, was she packing to move? Okay. But the eviction part, they're not concerned with. Excuse me, because there was a court date coming up this week, I believe, in regards to that. And so they said that she doesn't even have anything there and she's no longer here. So they have their properties. So it's probably going to be thrown out anyways.
as far as any background, she doesn't have a background. And that domestic arrest that was also attached to criminal damage to property was essentially dropped. So she doesn't have a background. And anyone who's been a nurse or knows a nurse knows that nurses can't have one.
Hey, Pammy Poo, good
So
morning.
let's go talk about this order of protection. So this is the summons. Cordasia Johnson, Romeca Blackman. Excuse how it's fuzzy because the courts, their copy machine, I don't know if a girl knew how to work it or whatever, but you can see it's a shadow. So um, this is just a summons for the protective order, page 1 of 3. And this is page 2 of 3. Okay, saying, and why doesn't it state here who's protected by this order? Why is that just blank? She doesn't even know how to fill stuff out. Okay,
Wait.
and so here is checked, for the remedy of plaintiff and prohibits the respondent from knowingly coming within or remaining within a specified distance of petitioner's residence, school, place of employment, or other places. And so it says respondent has no right to be present, and the balance of hardship favors petitioner and prohibiting respondent from being present. And so there's nothing listed as specific areas. Okay. Also, it's not, it's just empty, basically. It's not dated or signed. And that's probably why it got denied, including the nature of everything.
And another reason, also, y'all, that I feel that if her relative is in a court in a different, court, I should say, someone said allegedly she has a relative that's a judge. And one of my supporters said, I'm surprised she didn't file it in that courthouse. Well, they probably felt like this was some BS too and did not want to be involved, because if they signed off on this, that could come back to hunt them. Okay. And they could potentially get into trouble. So this girl doesn't even have anything really written at the beginning part of this. It wasn't even filled out all the way. If you really have a real situation where you have been threatened, somebody is following you, stalking you, you would have plenty of information to put on this report. So obviously, Romeca wasn't a huge danger to her if she doesn't even have anything on the report, a whole lot of stuff.
And so it's saying that, respondent is prohibited from threatening or committing stalking. Stalking means engaging in a course of conduct directed at a specific person when you know or should know that the course of conduct would cause a reasonable person to fear for his or her safety or the safety of a third person or suffer emotional distress. A stalking course of conduct include acts in which you directly or indirectly, by any action, method, device, or means, follow, monitor, observe, surveil, threaten, or engage in any other contact or interfere with or damage a person's property or pet. Stalking can include contact via electric communication. See 740 ILCS 2110 for additional definitions. Number two, the respondent is prohibited from having any contact with petitioner and or if minor child lists only initials. And so there was no minor child at the time, so you just see Quadasia Johnson.
Now, that's probably where it came in that this protection order is for possibly her child also. Now, she was pregnant during that time. I don't know if it would officially cover her child, because it says if a minor child lists only initials. Well, right now the baby's here, and this has not been updated to include the baby's initials. Okay. So if you knew that, oh, she was such a danger and you had this paperwork, and you wanted to make sure your child was covered, then that should have been a change made to this document. Okay. And there was not a change made. Hi, Miss Lady. Good morning. Thank you for joining.
In here. Number three, the respondent is prohibited from knowingly coming within or knowingly remaining within 1,000 feet of the petitioner's residence. Okay, and so um, the following and other injunctive relief is also ordered: no contact with petitioner via third parties or social media.
So you know where that probably came from. Probably they were, probably going back and forth on social media. Also, for it to say third parties, sometimes, if you have your friends saying little stuff, I don't know. I'm just, guessing because of the nature of the stuff we've seen. If it was a friend going back and forth with her as opposed to you, or somebody calling her phone, or, she doesn't want any of that taking place also.
I'm just waiting for the pages to load. I had to scan this at the library when I left the courthouse. I have two scans actually. And so this is two of two. So
Hi, honey.
we'll get
Thank
to
you
that
for
last
joining.
page because it's not really much on it anyway. But we have all pages. It's just I had to do two scans because the courts copied front and back
Good morning,
on these
April. Thank you for
pages.
joining,
So
sis.
I had
Hey,
to do a
honey, girl.
scan of all
Hey,
the
sis.
pages facing front, then all the scans of the pages facing the opposite way because it's something on both sides of the pages. So I found this really crazy that this is the protective order information sheet for the sheriff's office for sheriff's use only. Oops, but it's, public information. So we're using it today. Okay. So it says check all that apply to respondent. And I noticed that they checked suicidal tendencies and also likely to be under the influence of alcohol and also likely to be under the influence of drugs. And so this information was given to them by Holly Johnson, aka Khadijah Johnson. Khadijah Johnson, what do you know about Romeca Meeks, Blackman, to where you can say that she has suicidal tendencies
Mm-mm.
because according to your self-defense claim, she homicidal. So in your petition, well, not your petition, but in the information sheet for the sheriff's office, they have history, a mental illness not checked, suicidal tendencies checked, likely to be under the influence of alcohol, likely to be under the influence of drugs. Nothing's checked under likely to carry a weapon.
Now, y'all, so this girl she's delusional and crazy. Okay, so she's put on the sheriff's paperwork, and this is in regards to Ramika. Now, suicidal tendencies. She wasn't one of Ramika's friends, and who's to say if that was true or not? If it was true, she shared it with Carlos, then he's definitely telling her business. Okay, because I don't know how Hollywood knows something like that. And then you're to me trying to get them to look at her a certain type of way, talking about alcohol and drugs. Girl, what proof do you have of that? Okay, and for her to put that on I don't know if she was trying to also just get them to come, and mess with her because she put that on there, or if they pulled her over or saw this. Like, what was the purpose of putting that on there? Because none of if it was all online, what would that even have to do with anything? Alcohol or drugs? Okay, so it's like she picked some of the craziest stuff. Now, on here, she brought up a very good point. She did not check likely to carry a weapon. So you can't use that defense, okay, and say, oh, well, I thought she was going to go to her car and get something. Girl, you didn't, when you filed the restraining order, you didn't think she would have a weapon. Okay, is that also the reason that you went and got a weapon? Because you did not think she possibly had one. So you would one up her in the event that y'all came into contact with each other. That's a whole other possibility too. Right, girl. Like, this is crazy work. You really go that far to make someone look bad because you're a guilty person. Yes, that's what she was doing. She was trying to make her look bad, like, oh, this why I'm scared. This girl, she out here doing these crazy things, trying to unalive herself. She's on these drugs, this alcohol all the time. Like, you're really trying to make her look bad. But it's so interesting. She did not check likely to have a weapon. So you can't use that. Exactly, April. Yes. And he could have lied. He could have said, oh, she said she's gonna do something to herself if I leave her. I can't leave her. I wouldn't believe nothing he says. Okay. We don't know if that's something he shared with her. Because where else would she get that info? If it was true or not. And that didn't have nothing to do with nothing, anyways. that girl Holly literally was mentally impaired. Yeah, she probably was going through postpartum, low self-esteem, and she wanted to be in control. And during this time, she was pregnant when she filed this. But what we're about to see is the events that she was kind of referring to was previous to this. This was when she was pregnant also, but it was like mid-year in 2024. She didn't file this restraining order until December 2nd. Was it second? December 4th. I think the 4th. Yeah, December 4th, 2024. Okay, she waited. And that was around the time. That's why I put that video inside of that small video I did yesterday. Around December, Romeca was sharing videos of her and Carlos and their son happy. They had pictures and matching pajamas. So she probably was like, enough is enough. It's the holiday. She was almost due. Okay, emotions probably running rampant. She's the pick me type of girl. She's not getting her way. She's an only child. So she's trying to think, how can I get back at this girl? And now she's putting this stuff on the restraining order.
So they you didn't give them any information about Romeca carrying a weapon when you filed your protective order. So no weapons in the home and
See?
not likely to carry a weapon. It's not checked.
Mm.
But the other negative things that you wanted to state, they have marked off. Girl, you going to jail. You going to jail. We went over this page 2 or 3. And this is another 2 or 3 other no stalking order. You know, and I went over that prohibited from committing stalking, 1,000 feet from petitioner. Okay. So
Uh-oh.
instructions
Look,
were for
y'all. I was thinking I'm pressing pause and hit mute. Notice it said she had to be 1,000 feet from the petitioner, right? Well, where they were parked, that wouldn't have been more than 1,000 feet apart. So she's probably saying I'm justified because she was less than 1,000 feet away from me. Okay, because that was in the order as well.
Romeca to come to, well, this was the date issued, December 4th. So she couldn't have come in that day, but she was supposed to get information sent to her that day. Did you send her that information? This right here, pay no attention to that. This is for a total nother case. So don't look at that.
I was
I
like,
don't know
what?
why the clerk gave me that by mistake, but I do actually know that person. So I found that absolutely amazing that I will have that information. Okay, so that's 202, stalking, no contact. This is the final order that was on 7/14/2025. And this definitely was a default judgment because I have that information as well. So she was not informed of the court date or missed the court date. And this was a default judgment that was entered to extend the order through 2027.
Notice too, y'all, it was in Skokie. Is that Skokie, Illinois? That's where this was filed. Okay. And it was granted as a default judgment on July 14th. So within 2 months from this time, that's less than 2 months. Well, let's see, close to exactly 2 months. That's when Romeca lost her life. From the time this was stamped and approved, it was within 2 months. And this was in Skokie, Illinois. Okay, that's where this took place or approved. Hi, Rhapsody. It doesn't take three shots either to defend yourself. Exactly. Thank you for bringing that up.
After, I definitely went over that. The judge in this case was Judge Weaver, and I don't have any information about the judge because I didn't like run any background or whatever on the judge. But this is the another scan. So this must be like all the back pages. So let me just show and prove. This is Holly's statement, you guys. This is Holly's statement. This is Holly's statement. So I have got to put my glasses on, child, to read this. So just bear with me 1 minute. Let me get the hard copy. Y'all can read from the
Let me fast forward.
and that I got from the courthouse today. And she gave me information that I didn't need, but that's fine because I went over that in another live anyway. So as you can see here, that's what I just went over. Okay. Protective order information sheet from the sheriff's office. And we're going to go over the petition. And we're going to go over the other scan of paperwork as well because everything's facing the front way because we went over the back pages. So here it is. Booyah!
Wait till y'all hear this.
Okay. Just so we clear because I hear baby, I don't know about these. I know that the first witness that I heard on Messy Sweet Spot sounded exactly like the lady that was there on the scene. She did. However, the next live that I heard with this new witness, that don't sound legit at all. Number one, right? How could we recognize someone by their voice on the streets of anywhere? Unless you're trying to say the witness was Carlos, but it couldn't have been Carlos because they were talking about Carlos. You're going to say it's talking about itself in the third. I don't know. But anyway,
I can see him doing
let me read what Miss Kadasia Johnson filed in the courts.
Good morning, Daily Sis with Jazzy is in the building. Thank you so much for joining, sis, and thank you for the super chat. She said, "Good morning, open book." Good morning, sis, and thank you for being a sponsor for today's live. Y'all, if you would like to support the channel, I am 4 supers away from my goal. It can be for any amount, and I appreciate you all for hitting that like button. It is for free. Thank y'all so much.
Okay, December 4th at 10:27 a.m. It reads, Romeca Blackman called my grandmother's cell phone. Hold on, you guys. Let me make sure that I have this so you can read it too. Just give me a second.
Right, honey,
because
5K.
we're going to read it together. Okay. Romeca Blackman called my grandmother's cell phone December 3rd at 12:48 p.m. twice. So at 12:48 in the afternoon, she said, "Well, let me not let me not um add anything. I'm just going to read what's going on." So Romeca Blackman called my grandmother's cell phone December 3rd at 12:48 p.m. twice and at 12:50 p.m. So she called your grandmother 12:48 and 12:50 p.m. I said I wasn't going to do that. All right, here I go again. Romeca Blackman called my grandmother's cell
Okay, quick interjection right here. How would Ramika get her grandmother's phone number? So that's the wondering that I have on that part.
phone December 3rd at 12:48 p.m. twice and at 12:50 p.m. and said, "Is this Esther Johnson? I'm going to kill your granddaughter, Khadijah." On November 14th, Romeca Blackman liked a video on my TikTok and I immediately blocked her. On November 8th, Romeca
Um, Granny, do you know that Holly is out here putting you into stuff? Okay, now she's saying she just flat out called her grandmother talking about I'm gonna unalive Holly. Like for what? At that point, and the granny probably don't even know she on a restraining order. Her involvement in this is on a restraining order. Okay, probably say, Granny, if somebody call you, tell them yes, she did, and then call multiple times. Okay, we need to see phone records of a call being made to the grandmother during that time. Okay, we need to hear from the grandmother to validate this information. Also, girl, you can't make me believe you blocked Ramika because you was stalking her page, looking at all of the stuff. How you block someone and still watching their page? That's how you were knowing that they were together and things like that. I do not believe you blocked her. Okay, yes, she may have. And if she liked it, what was so bad about her liking a comment or a post? I'm confused. Right. Can she prove it? So that's weird. Oh, she liked the video on my TikTok and I immediately blocked her. I thought if somebody liked a video, that was a good thing. So now we're putting that on restraining orders. Girl, you bet not like my post. You bet not like that picture. Okay. I'm gonna put it on a restraining order. Like what?
Blackman reached out to my close friend Rebecca by phone, stating she going to beat my ass. November 7th, Romeca Blackman called my phone unknown multiple times that day from her phone and her son's cell phone number. I have an app on my phone that shows me who's calling me unknown. That's how I knew who was calling me unknown.
So that Rebecca girl is probably the only friend she has is probably that girl in that video. Okay. That's just my guess. Okay. Child, how do you know her son's phone number too? I'm curious to know how she knows Ramika's son's phone number. She said that she called the friend saying she's gonna be her at. So how did she get your friend? Like it seemed like you're saying Ramika is very resourceful and was just looking up phone numbers. She was looking up your grandmother number. She was looking up your friend's number. She was looking up all of these different numbers and calling people from her phone, calling people from her son's phone. Why? What was the obsession? She looked seemed like she was kind of still with him and looked happy on those videos and pictures, but yet she found time to do all of this to you. And allegedly, I don't think she knew her like that during the time or knew she was pregnant, where a lot of stuff was rumors. Okay, so notice here she's trying to build a case as to why she needs this restraining order. Okay, let's see. Honey 5K said she don't got no phone records. She just didn't have nothing else to say. Exactly. She didn't have nothing else to say. She made herself look goofy. April said Granny probably don't know nothing. Granny all involved in this and doesn't even know. She really just don't have nothing else to say, so she's making up stuff. Exactly. And the friend, she could always tell the friend, hey, if somebody say, ask you something, just say that she called you or whatever. Because I mean, I don't see her just, like I said, we don't have proof that she didn't, but she also needs to provide proof that she did. Okay.
October 29th and 30th, Romeca Blackman called my phone unknown multiple times that day as well, and I have the app that shows me who's calling unknown.
Is there an app that does that, y'all? I'm not familiar with it. Do y'all know of an app that can tell you who's behind an unknown phone number?
From her son's phone and her phone. September 28th, Romeca Blackman called me multiple times that day and said she hopes me and my baby die. She said she's going to bust my head open when she sees me.
Hold up, hold up, hold up. Wait a second. Hey, Brittany, how many children does Holly have? Doesn't she only have one child? Because this was written in December. How many children does she have, y'all? Does anyone know? I thought she only had the one baby. Because how is she saying? Let me rewind that. How would she say last year in September that she said she was going to do something to her baby? Let me rewind that part. Because I thought she only had one child.
That shows me who's calling me unknown. That's how I knew who was calling me unknown. October 29th and 30th, Romeca Blackman called my phone unknown multiple times that day as well, and I have the app that shows me who's calling unknown from her son's phone and her phone. September 28th, Romeca Blackman called me multiple times that day and said she hopes me and my baby die. She
So was she saying she hopes her and the baby that she was pregnant with die? Maybe that's what she was trying to say. Okay, because I was like, she doesn't even have a baby yet. So I guess she's saying because she was pregnant that she was calling saying that she hopes her and the baby. Okay. Because, baby, I was like, how is she seeing into the future? Oh my God.
said she's going to bust my head open when she sees me. September 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th, Romeca Blackman called my phone multiple times a day, asked
Right,
where
Daphne.
I'm
Hush,
at
please.
and what she's going to do to me. Also was hitting Carlos Smith while on the phone, and I heard her son in the ground saying, "Stop hitting my daddy."
Child, what's relevance? Okay. And she didn't ease Carlos' name in here, but girl, he hasn't even eased your name out there. He has not shown a picture or tried to defend you or anything. Okay. So what would be the relevance of that? Even if that were true, what did that have to do with a restraining order against you? Okay. If anything, it would be against him. If her son is saying that about the daddy, so you eased his name in here, that shows your motive also. That had no relevance to a restraining order. Okay, and doing all of this calling because I'm curious to know. the court, because I would have a whole problem if she has this whole double paragraph and where are the receipts? I'm hoping there are some receipts attached to this. Okay, because baby, you have a lot of she was calling from here. She called this person. She called that person. We need phone records. We need affidavits from those people, sworn statements showing that this was true. Okay, because you are saying a whole lot with no proof to get this restraining order.
October 27th, Romeca Blackman called my phone multiple times that day, saying she's going to kill me. October 9th, she called me unknown multiple times. At 2 a.m., I was asleep and did not answer. September 16th, Romeca Blackman texts my phone with bothering messages. September 15th, Romeca Blackman texts me. September 7th, Romeca Blackman called and texted me and sent me inappropriate videos on her private area. August 20.
Now wait, so you're saying Ramika sending inappropriate pictures of her private area? A lot of she texts me, she called me, okay. I thought she had y'all this here. So you said you blocked her on social media. There's still a block button on the phone as well. Okay. I didn't hear anything about I blocked her on my phone. She was calling unknown. You know, if that was her, I would have, kind of blocked that or it. Now all of a sudden she's sending inappropriate pictures of her private area. What would be the reason for that? I'm so when I tell you this seems so high schoolish. The going back and forth to my she called me, she texted me, she called me to my she gonna beat my girl. Oh my gosh.
8th, Romeca called me and left me a voicemail. She has left me voicemails on multiple occasions. Romeca Blackman has reached out to me multiple times on Instagram, calling and writing to me multiple times. May 13th was the most recent harassment on Instagram. Romeca Blackman Googled my name and found my grandmother's address, found my mother's phone number, found my grandmother's phone number, and is currently seeking my home address. Romeca Blackman calls my friend Rebecca unknown and straight through multiple a day as well. Romeca Blackman texted my mother's phone looking for me. Romeca Blackman texted Carlos' phone, my grandmother's address, and also called Rebecca and told Rebecca she has my grandmother's address.
Child, is Rebecca the only friend?
Um, so none of this says that you ever met her in person.
Exactly.
It says she had everybody's address, everybody's phone number. Yet nothing in here says that she ever confronted you face to face. Says that May 13th was the most recent harassment on Instagram. So if May 13th was the most recent harassment on Instagram, when did she first contact you on Instagram? This right here is why I call bullshit.
Hmm.
This right here, you're sworn, this is sworn testimony, right? This petition, you do know that this is sworn testimony and that anything that deviates from this mean that you perjured yourself.
Mm.
So if you guys, she's been in contact with you in any form, right? According to you, May 13th was the most recent of 2024. Because this petition was filed December
Right
the
here.
4th.
Okay.
Okay. So it had to be May of 2024. So don't come to me with no BS, people.
Yes, Brittany.
It couldn't have been anything but May of 2024 or May of 2023. But seeing that she had been in contact with you since the summer, right? Or before the summer, May is like really basically the beginning of summer. And that was the last contact on Instagram. Okay. And then you have these August incidents, September incidents, even October and November. Why
Mm-hmm.
did you walk your ass in there thinking you would get an emergency petition granted in December? She's been in contact with you all of this time and you didn't feel like you were in danger.
Y'all, why do y'all think she was trying to get an emergency one? Do you think that she was trying to do something sooner? I had a restraining order, but I had screenshots, printing paperwork to prove why I needed it. Exactly. That's what I want to know. Where's the proof? Okay. Where are the phone records? We need some type of proof. I'm not gonna say Romeca didn't do it, but I'm not gonna say she did. Prove it either way. I mean, the burden of proof is on Holly. You have to show proof and evidence of that. Affidavits, sworn statements from these people, okay, before we believe any of this. And like she said, it still wasn't in person. And I'm still trying to understand the urgency behind, her trying to get that in December. Why did it have to be an emergency one? Yes, she is speaking facts. She is definitely speaking facts. Uh-oh. Hold on, y'all. Wow.
Or that anything was going to happen to you, right? See when this was filed? December 4th, 2024. I'm going to read it again. Romeca Blackman called my grandmother's cell phone December 3rd at 12:48 p.m. twice and at 12:50 p.m. and said, "Is this Esther Johnson? I am going to kill your granddaughter, Khadijah." Why didn't you put your grandmother down as a protected person on your order? You don't feel she needed to be protected
Mm,
or just you?
that's a good point. Yeah, she already had.
That's hearsay. That's hearsay. You told the judge that Romeca called your grandma and she said this to your grandmother. I sure you didn't bring in proof of that. Then you said on November 14th, Romeca Blackman liked a video on my TikTok and I immediately blocked her.
Yes, sis. Yes, definitely. She was preparing. She was setting the stage. Okay. No, she wasn't going to share her baby daddy. No. But she should have thought about that before laying down with one. I mean, he had other kids too. Romeca's not the only baby mama. So I don't get the obsession with Romeca. She was setting this up, y'all, and I'm gonna have to cut it short here because, like I said, I have to go take my husband. He has an appointment this morning. But that was the whole gist. I wanted to get through that, have y'all hear the full thing first, and then we could go deeper into this, y'all. She was setting the stage. It's no way or reason she should have had to try to get an emergency one in December. And look at how long, okay, it took her to go get one. If that had been happening since May, You would have thought, look, this girl get on my nerves. She gonna come unalive me. She about to beat my age. She up here harassing my family. Let me go get this back up in June of last year. Let me go get something in July. Child, you waited to the end of the year, and it finally got approved in July this year. Okay, it did not seem like an emergency. What was the emergency in December? You said they're gonna make a movie. Okay. Don't take line. Hey V, good morning, sis. Thank you for joining. And same to you. Yeah, this girl was setting the stage, y'all. Something is wrong in her mind, y'all. And even when her friend, I know when they did that video, who's the person that would do this? That's probably Rebecca. And that girl knew her friend. Okay, when she said most likely to unalive someone and all of that, her friend knows she's crazy. Okay, this girl, I told y'all, it reminds me of the movie Single White Female, but she's a single black one. And she wore a white dress, kind of imitating. Romeca had white at her baby shower. She had on a white dress at her baby shower. She's watching her videos. How you get mad at somebody for liking a video on your page? Then you said that you blocked her, but then y'all had all this communication afterwards. I thought you blocked her. Romeca looking up everybody's phone numbers to get to you. But one, you stayed supposedly further from her. Is that the reason you thought, oh, because he down there close to her, I'm up here. Okay, I don't know the distance in between, how long it would take for her to get there. But she had not approached. You had put on the paperwork, you didn't check the mark for weapons. You didn't think that she was likely to have a weapon on her or at home. You didn't check those boxes. So you didn't feel too threatened for your life, or that she was probably serious. So you're trying to tell me you can't fight. So if she would have came there, you can't throw the hands. Okay. You didn't check those boxes. I would, if I really felt that this was an emergency and that my life was at stake, baby, I would have put, she probably got a weapon. It's probably on her. And she got one at the house. You didn't check any of those boxes. Jasmine said, this is sad. She had to knock Ro off because she was the baddest. The other baby mamas didn't look like nor have what Ro had and wouldn't have obtained. Oh, okay, got you. Okay, see, I don't know anything about the other baby mamas. I haven't really heard anything about them. So I get it. Yeah. This is the one that it seems like spent more time with, more, present. We could see more videos and pictures with them and all of that. But girl, you were just jealous. I'm sorry. It went into a jealous rage. You wanted to get rid of her. Hence, you knew she was beautiful while you shot her in the face. Okay. So if she did make it, she would have had her face messed up. You knew what you were doing. This proved nothing. Okay. This doesn't justify anything. And you can't say it covers the baby. You were pregnant. Okay. So it said if it's a minor child, you were supposed to put the baby's initials. You didn't go update the paperwork. So no, it did not. You can't say, oh, I thought she was coming for my baby. So that witness, the ghost witness, you can miss us with that. Okay. She didn't put the baby's initials on that form. She was supposed to go and update it after she had a baby, but I guess she didn't feel too threatened or her baby's safety for her to go to the courthouse and update the paperwork. So, oops, can't use that one. Okay. This is crazy. But y'all, we're going to come back. We'll talk more about this. Y'all know it's going to be some updates throughout the day. If you did not hear about the police report, we did a live last night with Keys News Network. He shared more details about the actual police report, and we have more details. Now, it's still redacted. Some information has been redacted, and it is a pending investigation. I think the more we talk about this and keep it alive, I think it's going to hold them to a level of accountability. I was saying last night, a lot of people in Chicago have lost their confidence and faith in this police department. The world is watching. Okay, you need to try to gain some type of trust back with your people. They don't trust y'all. That's why people are not speaking out. So hopefully this will show we're not letting up. We're going to keep talking about it until justice is served for Romeca. Thank y'all so much for joining. Shout out to Jazzy J for that super chat. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I love you all. Thank y'all so much. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Set those notifications. I will be back. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.